Welcome back to No, I'm Just a Worm. This week's episode, we are discussing social media censorship and all the different variations thereof. One instance in particular that I always think of is shadow banning on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because a lot of we're both in the pole dance world, and a lot of pole dancers have been subjected to shadow banning, which is a way that your post isn't taken down, but it's hidden from view, or hidden from being searched. So on Instagram, you would use hashtags in order for people to find you if they don't already follow you. So people would search hashtags, or they would follow certain hashtags. So, for instance, if I were to post a photo on Instagram, pole dancing photo, and I used the hashtag pole dances of Instagram,
Right.
and if Jess wanted to search for it, she could go into the search function on Instagram, search hashtag pole dancers of Instagram, and if my post didn't show up, I was shadow banned.
Right.
So that has been happening a lot with pole dancers, women doing different aspects of sports, especially if it's one that involves a bikini type thing or whatever. Sex workers have been shadow banned, strippers, stuff like that. They all get shadow banned on Instagram for posting like their normal day to day, like what they do for their job. And
Right.
not even saying that their posts are like explicit or anything, but it's they're wearing essentially a bikini,
Right.
and their posts are being shadow banned. If
Yeah.
not, some of them are getting their posts taken down completely.
And I think our argument with this when we started to discuss it was it's very biased based on how many followers you have and what your celebrity is.
Yeah.
So and I think it's it's just it's bullshit. That if you have enough followers or if you are a celebrity that you basically get away with murder. Hey, I stole that from you.
You bitch. Some of them can get away with murder, which is upsetting.
That's true. But it's just, one of the examples that I had brought up with this was, and I always forget his name.
Jason Derulo.
Yes.
Jason Derulo.
His argument was that it was kind of it was biased towards genders. Because he was saying he got the Instagram photo of him doing like a shoot in boxer briefs that are very tight. And as long as it wasn't photoshopped, apparently he's very well endowed. So just his dick was there. We're kind of dick. His anaconda was very basically it was just, you could see his dick.
You could see it was the outline as if that was a still shot from a porno.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But his argument was, this is me. This is just the way that I am. I can't help that. And I don't think it's fair that this gets taken down, but Cardi B can be bent over her couch in a thong. And depending on the angle, you're not going to see her asshole, but you could see the pronunciation of her vag. Depending.
Yeah, you could probably see like the scrunchy part of the asshole.
Yeah. True. Yeah. But that's fine, and people celebrate certain celebrity women that post stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so he was pissed about the bias in that. And I mean, I get what he's coming from. I guess my argument would be, dude, your dick was out there.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure if I got close enough, I could probably see like the outline of your head and veins. Like it was pretty pronounced.
Yeah. And I just feel like with a lot of that, I don't know, the none of the rules make sense when it comes to how they censor or what they would censor, because it's not consistent across the board.
No.
There's literally, you don't know why a photo or a post or whatever will be taken down for either on Facebook or on Instagram.
Because you're usually given the very generic reason of, well, this goes against blah, blah, blah policy. But it doesn't give you an example of, because XYZ was depicted in your photo or your video.
Yeah.
This is why.
Mm-hmm. And like on stuff like on Twitter, which they're a separate company from Facebook and Instagram because Facebook owns Instagram. But like on Twitter, you could have like full on like sex gifs. They can show like they can show tits. They can show literally everything. They can show everything. And like their censorship rules are very different, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But you would see people on Twitter saying like, "Hey, why don't the president's tweets violate the hate speech?"
Right.
Or
yeah.
like I don't know if it was today or whatever, but essentially the president posted like a tweet saying basically saying that he was going to attack Iran.
And then he did.
Well, no, but it was
Oh,
like more
like,
specific, like saying
gotcha.
he was like going to be targeting people and places, and he's like, isn't that like hate speech or like threatening to kill people? Isn't that?
Because I think their argument with that is based on some of the attacks that Iran has had against us.
Yeah.
That you're basically just showing like your retaliation against something that's already been done to America. So you're basically kind of like, hey, from a military strategy, this is what we're going to be doing, and it's not based off of hate, it's based off of self-defense and national security is going to be their argument for that.
But there is still like there's shit like that where you're like, okay, someone else would post something that could also be loosely taken as hate speech as well, and that would be taken down, and yet
So like didn't really read into YouTube or Twitter's guidelines. I really am only on Facebook. I am not a social media queen at all.
She's a grandma.
I really am. I don't understand why I need to be on every fucking social media platform. I don't get it. I don't.
Because you're not relevant if you're not on all of them.
That's another podcast for another day. That makes me so angry. Anyways, so I didn't read their policies on those two platforms. But I was reading on Instagram and Facebook, and again, like it is kind of strange because they're one and the same company. But their guidelines, again, I feel like Instagram's a little bit more specific examples. Facebook, not so much. However, both of them said, as far as hate speech or violence, anything like that, isn't tolerated unless it's newsworthy. Or,
oh my God.
Or hold on, I gotta look up the specifics. Or if it's going to continue a conversation about the topic. So one of the things that I was thinking of as a semi-decent example, I think, is what happened in Charlottesville, I believe, a couple years ago when they had like the white supremacist fucking marches.
Oh.
Yeah, so that in and of itself right there is hate speech. That's an example of white supremacy. Yeah. The riots that they showed and the poor woman getting hit by that car are just horrible images to see. However, posts were not taken down due to it's on the news, and B, you can use the example of white supremacy is live and well. What are we doing about this? Like, this needs to be stopped kind of a conversation, and using that as an example to have that conversation.
Interesting.
Which I can understand.
Yeah.
Like their point of view on that. And then a lot of it too, a lot of their arguments too, and some of the arguments or debate, I wouldn't say arguments, that I was having with Will yesterday is there were several times in their policies where they state like XYZ won't be tolerated. There's certain examples, like if you're flat out going to be like, fuck Aunt Jeanette, she's a goddamn whore, I'm going to her house to fucking kill her. Obviously stuff like that is going to be taken down. Authorities will be called. I would never do that. But a lot of it too, they were going over, they're worldwide. All these companies are worldwide. Yeah. They're representing every nationality, every religion, every belief. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be things that you're not going to agree with or that are going to offend you in some way. Yeah. So unfriend them or block them. You have that power. Yeah. You need to police yourself to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. Like, you take the opportunity to do so.
Yeah. And, that kind of bleeds into like a subject, social media subject that we're going to bring up a separate podcast about like cancel culture and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, the unfollow or the unfriend button is the easiest thing that you could do. I don't know why people continue to like either comment their hatred or comment their disgust or displeasure about someone's post or whatever, or using the report button. Like, seriously, just go fuck yourself.
I can understand.
If it were something that's truly obscene
Right.
or offensive, like, I really don't. I don't know. I don't understand if it's just something that they don't necessarily agree with even a little bit. They're just like, no, report it because it's obscene to me.
It's abuse.
Yeah.
Like, it's abuse of the reporting standard, and I think Facebook does address that. And as soon as I can fucking bring this up, is that, there are certain things where you might report and we might not take down. You might get upset about it because we don't feel like it is actually offensive or goes against our community guidelines. So there is a very vague policing. What's the word I'm looking for?
Policy? Policing.
But there's a very vague filter on like what they're going to actually take down and what they're going to take seriously based on what they're saying is offensive.
And like some of the, like how you were saying the other day, like some of the things that they would like that they would find, like, have an issue with, and they would say like, hey, you got to do X, Y, and Z in order to, not be in Facebook jail. And then sometimes you could even just essentially give the big like fuck you to Facebook, and they're like, yeah,
so
fair argument.
So we had a friend of ours who, because that's another thing with Facebook, which to an extent I can understand, but they keep using this term authentic self. And you know what? My authentic self might be I'm a dick. I might be an asshole, and that might be my authentic self.
Yeah.
But they use that as a term of using your appropriate birth given name. It's on your identification, your appropriate date of birth, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we had a friend of ours who used his first name, and his last name was Dahmer, which, quite frankly, could have been real.
That was funny.
But Facebook was like, no, we're going to put you on a block, and you need to send us a picture of your like identification, your driver's license, state ID, whatever.
Which I think, like, where the fuck do you get off Facebook for requesting that shit?
Well, they told him that he could cover everything that's on there. They just wanted his picture and his first and last name. But that's still a ballsy request.
Yeah.
So what he sent them was
we're not getting us, NSA.
But no, he just sent him the big fuck you picture, and they were like, okay, great, that's perfect.
And you're like, did you even see? Or you just checked that he sent a response, and you're like, oh, okay, good enough.
Well, that's why I wonder, like, how much of it is just an algorithm that they're running to filter these kind of things, and how much of it is an actual human being.
I want to say like
at this
99.8% of cases out of 100 it's an algorithm.
Yep.
And I think that's just for them for ease of, so that they don't have to have a whole entire staff of people that they have to employ. They just leave it up to someone who writes a code and makes an algorithm that'll filter through all of this stuff, because that can work a lot quicker than, a staff of people could.
Right.
And it's less expensive, but it is just an algorithm. So clearly it cannot think how humans can. So like there are going to be a lot of mistakes unless you calculate for those mistakes in the algorithm, but you need to it's a huge trial and error basis. And you have to do the trial and error for a long time in order to actually like.
Yeah, I can't find the wording for this. I'm just going to give up because I'm going to be on here forever trying to find it. But no, I think, like you said, I mean, an algorithm and a computer can't tell the difference between someone who's being serious and someone who's just being an asshole, just being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some pretty blatant posts and videos and stuff that there's no questioning it. You know what their intent is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, that was one of the things that I was reading up on YouTube and on Facebook, as far as like what is considered offensive and what was considered fake.
Yeah.
So I know you and I were talking about that before, of like something that can go viral and something that can just continue to just take off and spread false information, but isn't taken down, and that page is still allowed to run.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? And so I was reading up on, and I think Instagram kind of has the same policy as Facebook of as far as like the shadow banning.
Yeah.
And they basically were just like, listen, we can't tell the difference between, or it's too hard to tell the difference between an opinion article, a satire article, or something that they're actually saying, no, this is real.
Yeah.
This is what I believe in. This is real, and continue to spread something that is 100% false,
Like with the
or slander.
anti-vaxxers.
And I think we use the anti-vaxxers as such a good example because there's been multiple scientific research
For a lot longer than...
for a lot longer, and to disclaim and discredit what the anti-vaxxer message is.
Yeah.
And yet they continue to be allowed to spread this message on social media, and
quoting their shit articles that some mom blogger wrote because, she believes essential oils can fix everything.
Yeah. But I think the issue with this, though, that I had, and that like my debate with Will in this example in general, is that it's having a detrimental effect.
Mhm.
It is having a detrimental effect that's bringing back fucking measles. It's bringing back mumps. Dallas School District up by us recently just had to send something out to have the parents watch for signs of mumps.
Oh, jeez.
There's no reason that we should even have to consider this. And this is causing certain school districts and states to write laws to state that if your child is not vaccinated, we will not let them in school.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing that people are taking those steps, but it should never have come to that.
Yeah.
And,
like, how do we get this far?
Right. And like the arguments that I've gotten a lot of is, how far are we going to police these posts until we turn to like a police state? Like when's going too far as what you can post and not. And that, people, you're not allowed to do free speech at that point. But again, it's false information. So like, where's the fucking line with that is my argument.
There's so many different slippery slopes and like so many dangerous precedents that can be set. And that's why sometimes when it gets to a point where like it's newsworthy or whatever, and then you get court cases that can be made out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's such...
I just, kind of my argument was and I understand the argument of, listen, like, this is a platform where you can police on your own and you can censor on your own. And if you don't like something, just don't follow it, block it. That's fine. And that as a human being and as an individual, you should take the step on your own to do the research to see if these claims, whatever the case may be, are false or fact.
Yeah.
Which I understand, and yes, as a whole, that is true. However, I just feel like there should be some type of responsibility on the owners of these platforms to take a little bit more responsibility on what's being broadcasted out there. And like some of my suggestions, aside for shadow banning, was, and especially something like the anti-vaxxer movement that's just fucking fake. Maybe force them to do a new policy of, listen, like on your page and on your articles, you need to put, this is opinion. This is not fact.
Yeah.
This is what I believe in. This has not been scientifically proven.
Yeah.
There are little things like that can kind of help filter it a little bit more. And maybe, if you want factual information or if you want like the counter argument, follow this link.
Yeah.
And, because it's so hard once you have a viral post out there to sift through the bullshit to find what is fact and what isn't.
Yeah. I like, in a way, some of the different platforms have taken to where like, okay, so on YouTube, for instance, pretty much anyone can start a YouTube page and do whatever. And that's how you have fucking children raking in millions of dollars every year because they just open toys. That's a separate subject. But because YouTube is a platform where kids can make their own videos, and there wasn't an issue for a while that pedophiles were using YouTube to like coordinate with other pedophiles, and they would comment in the comment section of these kids' YouTube channels or whatever, so that they could network with each other. And YouTube made it so they couldn't do that. Like they would post like that's why you can't do picture comments in YouTube anymore, because they were using it to network with each other. But it still is like, there's one girl, I don't fucking know her name, but she hold on one second. she does ASMR videos. And the ASMR videos, I forget what it stands for, but it's essentially like they would take a really fancy microphone and they would do things like drink something or eat something, because some people find the noise of someone drinking or eating or opening or crinkling things or something like that soothing.
Okay.
But it is this girl, and I saw a clip of this girl. She's like fucking made up head to toe. And she would just open like a can of soda and like drink it, but she's like full on, like she's 8 or whatever, or maybe younger,
Okay.
and more makeup. They're like kind of like those pageant kids,
Right.
so that level of makeup. And I guess her mom manages her account. But people, like, a lot of the comments are like, this is like really sexual, because she would be like eating a Twizzler or something like that, or like,
It's not just like chowing down like you and I would, like
yeah, like
cow chewing.
yeah, it's fucking, it's weird. Like, I felt uncomfortable seeing this a little tiny clip of it, and then people were saying like, she dresses up her kid in like those weird sexy like police officer outfits and stuff like that, and you're
What?
like, it's like you're peddling this kid to pedophiles. Like,
Right.
like YouTube has done their best to try to make it harder for those kinds of peoples to network
Right.
on their site. But you're not helping them
Yeah.
by posting these videos and like essentially pimping out your kid.
I mean, at what point, like, what point is that child abuse?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously the kid seems fine with it, but like you're not.
You're subjecting your kid out there to so many different dangers and just
Yeah,
you're marketing your kid, like,
and they're doing all of the things so that they can still get monetized. So there are certain things on YouTube that you cannot mention or do, where you will get demonetized.
right.
So like, one, I think we would probably demonetize because we're cursing or whatever. But
Sorry.
well, I don't know. I would have to look at the guidelines a little bit more, but there are certain things that you cannot do, certain things you cannot say. Like mentioning blood. You
Really?
can't. Yeah.
Huh.
Like, a lot of the way that they've changed over the years, make it so that you kind of like YouTube's version of shadow banning, which is demonetizing.
Right.
So, a lot of special effects makeup artists used to make a living on YouTube,
Oh, yeah.
doing like, they're essentially like a tutorial, or like
How
just
to?
how to, or
Yeah.
just showing the process and how they got their look. And if it was like horror special effects or something like that, they would make these YouTube videos and they would make money off of them because they were so popular. So many people would watch them, but because it featured horror or gore special effects, and it was featured like flesh tearing or like, blood dripping or something
Right.
like that. And obviously it's all fake, but because it was something like that, and it has to do with an algorithm that either like detects these words or detects certain images, and it would flag it as inappropriate, and then they would get demonetized, and then the people would have to try to argue their case, and by the time they either won the argument or whatever, it was the viewership had just gone down at that point, where there was no point
Right.
in trying to like turn the ads back on or whatever. So like, a lot of stuff like that ends up happening, where like these people would get caught up in getting censored or getting banned or whatever, or getting demonetized, and by the time they try to win their argument or like argue their case or whatever, by the time it's settled and whatnot, their video, not that it's no longer relevant, but
Monetize,
they're
like, they're
not getting
not
the traffic that they were
right.
before when they first put out the video.
It's affecting their bottom line and it's affecting their livelihood.
Yes.
You know.
So a lot of special effects. That's why we have so many people have moved to Instagram, where like they have different standards of that, where like you can do special effects makeup on there, and it's not videos that are nearly as long as on YouTube, but you can do like you can do IGTV stuff
Mm-hmm.
and hashtags there, and they don't really, as far as I know, they don't censor that
Right.
as much or whatever.
Yeah, I know. I'm so bad at this prepping. Should have written down the article that I
Mm-hmm.
read. Yeah, bad with prepping, but I I was reading an article on the algorithm of YouTube, and I know there was, and it's somehow still being debated, but there was a lot of debate around the 2016 election, and if YouTube
Oh,
had
yeah.
influenced the sway of the election. And there was a lot of arguments about just the way that the algorithm works, and obviously it works in such a way where I look up a makeup tutorial, and the next follow up videos are suggested is going to have to do with makeup.
Yeah.
It's just standard. But you know, like you said, because of the algorithms are picking up certain words, eventually you can kind of go into the rabbit hole where next thing you know, it's like really fucking random shit that you really weren't looking for, or you happen to get pulled into like, oh my god, what's this viral video? Like, let me look at this one video this one time, and then all of a sudden, all of these crazy ass suggestions that you would never fucking look at, are up there. So he, you know, kind of wanted to mess around with the algorithm, the author of this article, and had looked up, or something was suggested. He wasn't even sure why, but it was basically like this older sibling telling her two younger brothers basically beat the shit out of each other.
Oh god, okay.
Like, so, and again, like, where are your parents? Because they were young, they were under 10, and it was pretty bad. And this is again allowed to be posted. It was a viral video, so I'm more than sure that YouTube was aware of it.
Yeah.
And this is appropriate. This is appropriate content that's obviously not being monetized on, but it's still allowed to be out there. And he was kind of like, why?
Yeah.
But he's like, because I watched it that one fucking time, just all these suggestions of all these crazy fucking horrific videos of children being hurt or people beating up each other happened. So he's like, I had to fucking like erase my search history, clear out my cookies, like do all this stuff to kind of start from scratch again. So then he started to look up, and I know a couple of tests were done, and they admitted like their sample size was kind of small. It was like a snapshot of what they experienced. But they had looked up any type of political video on Trump, and then any type of political video on Clinton. And they were like, there was, I would say 9 times out of 10, it was almost impossible to find just a legitimate news clip of Hillary Clinton. Most of the stuff that came up was just conspiracy theories or pedophile rings or Clinton foundations, like whatever the fuck. So you couldn't, it was almost impossible to find just legitimate news source material on Hillary Clinton.
So this is like if people wanted to like search and like do their research on which candidate they wanted to vote for.
Right. This is the information that you're getting. So to start, like you might have a specific video that you know exactly what to put in and what to bring up as far as like maybe the previous debate between Hillary and Trump. So that like legitimate video might come up, but then after a while you're going to get all these suggestions just on Clinton and based on like the keywords and this algorithm that's just all crazy fucking conspiracy theory bullshit.
Clinton and the Illuminati.
But then if you look up stuff for Trump, that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't about all of Trump's failures and all the bankruptcies that he's fucking had, all the businesses that have failed, and like questionable donation money and where that's actually being sent to, like hardly anything.
Yeah.
It was mainly just like MAGA, fucking make America great again. Like this is all the stuff that Trump wants to do. And so they're like, how the fuck does this work? Like, I don't understand how this how does this happen?
Yeah.
You know, especially if you start it out with a legitimate video and then just snowballs into like bullshit, but it doesn't happen for the other candidate as well.
Yeah. So like who's in whose pocket?
Right. Well, right. And I'm sure there's probably so much more to it. But it was just an interesting kind of blip that they had brought up, where they were just like, I don't understand how this algorithm works. And there were so many, you know, obviously the CEO and stuff like that of YouTube was like interviewed so many hundreds of times based on like, did you purposely write this algorithm to favor Trump over Clinton? You know, I don't understand how you can say that your algorithm doesn't have something to do with just your search history in general.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, like, no, it's just the way that it works. It's just the way that people search for stuff. That's just what they want to see. We have no responsibility for this at all.
I like when you go full Muppet.
Yay! Can't do full Kermit arms. I will eventually.
Yes. One day.
One day.
Soon. But when will then be now?
Soon. So it's just, I mean, it was a lot of good points that they had brought up of, you know, who's actually running this and can it be dependent on these algorithms? You know, should there be some human oversight to this a little bit more than what there already is? And it's like you said, it's hard to do. I mean, I can't imagine the amount of people that you would need to hire to sift through content.
It would have to be an astronomical number because, like you said, all of these platforms are available to everyone.
Right.
Everyone, pretty much, as long as you have an internet connection and some kind of device, which is a good portion of the world, you have access to these platforms. So, just you would need like it. That's why it's so much easier just to write an algorithm, but that's why it's so flawed because it's
Right.
like you said, different parts of the world have different standards for what's offensive and what's not, and different people have different agendas with this,
Yeah.
that, and the other thing. So like,
And we're going over to, and not this article, but something else I was watching. Based on like how you can kind of get sucked into false YouTube pages.
oh yeah,
So like the one, I can't fucking remember which country it was, but basically like there's a certain country where they had voted in this president. It was basically like just the votes kind of came from YouTube, and the information on this political figure came from YouTube, but he's a dictator. He's a fucking dictator.
yeah,
So they were kind of, and they were interviewing a lot of like the young voters that basically made up a good chunk of the voting population and kind of swayed um the results of the election.
yeah.
But they were like, how'd you even hear about this guy?
Ugh.
And they're like, oh, well, I was learning to play guitar. So I was kind of sifting through like YouTube videos, and this guy came up and he will show you how to play guitar. And then while he's doing that, he's also spewing his propaganda favoring this presidential candidate.
The fuck, man.
Yep.
Oh my god.
And then there's some that were just blatant, like, fuck socialists, like, go vote for this guy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for like some of the younger population, yeah, it was just kind of like seated in there where it's presented as, I'm going to just show you this, guitar riff or whatever, which he was doing. And like I said, while he's doing that, he's kind of just throwing in like these little seeds of
like
fascism.
Subliminal messaging.
Yeah. So, but again, though, like, I don't know. I kind of feel like that just shit shouldn't be allowed. And I understand it's like, well, we're going to end up turning into a police state and it's going to swing the other way too far. And people have certain beliefs, blah, blah. But I'm like, if you have this content out there that's supporting a known dictator that has killed thousands of innocent people, take it the fuck down.
Yeah. It's kind of like a no-win situation. Like if you try getting it so that like you can't please everyone. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like no one person is going to come out on top except for maybe Trump and
the
like
1%.
yeah, the rich and the famous and but like back to our point that we made earlier about like with Jason Derulo v Cardi B, like they're both celebrities.
Right.
And they're, I know probably, I guess, I don't know, maybe Cardi B is more popular. I don't know. But she also does a lot of like crazy push the envelope stuff.
Yeah.
So I just don't know if there's a way that you could censor her. Really?
I don't think they're trying to because she's making them money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, in a perfect world, it would be here are community guidelines, here are our rules. Period. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
And I think kind of going back to the fitness world and how many times they're shadow banned for non-explicit material. They're not showing their badge. They're not in sexually explicit positions that could suggest a sex act.
Yeah.
And a lot of their stuff is shadow banned, taken down, whatever. But then again, you have people who have a high celebrity status or a lot of followers, and that's fine. And like I had used the example earlier before we had to restart this episode.
Yes. We started and then recorded like 10 minutes and then because someone fucked up we had to redo it again.
Sorry. But and I already forgot her name again.
Ariel Winter?
Yes, thank you. I thought I was like, it's Ariel, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. But yeah, I guess, she was working on a lot of fitness goals and a lot of body image issues that she had and has come a long way. Like, she looks fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And that was due to a lot of hard work. So she wanted to post her gains. 2020, going to New Year, thanked her personal trainer, which is great. But she posted a video / picture on Instagram of her on the beach in a thong and bikini.
Yeah.
Her ass looks fantastic. But that's fine.
Mhm.
And that was not only was that fine, that was celebrated.
Yeah.
And of course they had to throw in her name, like what type of work that she's done in the industry, and that she has 4 million followers.
Yeah.
But I mean, God forbid if you had posted something similar in pole shorts that covers more
Yeah.
and is like, I've been working my ass off to get this ass.
I've been working my ass on.
Yeah.
Ha
The chances of that being streamed or that being shadow banned like significantly goes up.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a bullshit double standard.
If not straight up taken down.
Right.
But like I said, there aren't too many posts on Instagram that would get straight up taken down unless it's more sexually explicit. But like there's this one artist, okay, so it's an art page. She is called is Exotic Cancer.
Okay.
And she does these cartoons based on her job as a stripper. And it's kind of like, it's pretty, I don't know, I guess it's all satire based on the stripping industry.
Right.
On how, like, guys will be like, oh, I wish I could do this or whatever, blah, 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 with, okay, let me find an example, because they're funny, but she gets, a lot of her stuff taken down because, so she has several backup accounts because she's been taken down so many times.
Oh, that's against their policies as well.
Yes.
Not supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people end up doing that because, like, if it's not something like they get shadow banned or they get their stuff taken down, they have this other account because they would have so many followers. And they're like, this account is going to be taken down, so follow this other account just in case that happens.
Right.
So she has stuff like that, but so she'll have a post like this. So it's a picture of a stripper who it's just the bottom half of her, so you can see labia, you can see butt, you can see everything.
It's not that detailed.
And she's wearing, it's not that detailed, but the labia is still there.
You know what it is.
And it's these tiny little guys running up to like climb her and get all over her, essentially. But she does stuff like that, and it's all of the stuff that she does is essentially a satire on the sex work industry and the beauty industry and stuff like that, or beauty standards and whatnot. Like, all of her cartoon strippers have like hairy legs or like ugly toenails coming out of the platform shoes and everything. And it's just it's satire, but it's art.
Right. It's
art. But a lot of her stuff gets banned or taken down or whatever because someone's getting butthurt over this, that, and the other thing. And it's ridiculous. It's art, like it's not real life. It's not an actual vagina that's out there. It's not an actual anything. It's art. So why are you taking down art? So that's kind of like, I would think kind of goes against the whole freedom of speech thing.
Well, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, which I think is a lot of fucking Zuckerberg's argument on why he allows half the shit that he allows posted out there is based on, we don't want to censor anybody. People are allowed to express themselves the way that they see fit, this, that, and the third, provided that you're making him money.
Yes. Yes. If you're not making him money, then what's the point? It's kind of like the mouse. If you're not making the mouse money, then what are you doing? Get away.
Did you really make it in the industry that the mouse doesn't want to buy?
No.
But I think, somebody recently, because I know, like, just with our page, and I know, like, some of our other friends who have small businesses of trying to get enough traffic and their posts in, like, newsfeed on a business page, it's like, oh, well, you can boost your post. You can pay for it.
Oh,
we'll have that seen more frequently, but it's like, but people, like, I already have, like, say, hypothetically 1,000 followers or more. They should be able to, like, why am I paying for people that are already following my page to see the content that I'm already posting posting.
Yeah, and the argument that I had brought up against that was that let's just like the algorithms that they put out, either Facebook or Instagram, it goes based on what you are viewing.
Right.
So if you are or interacting with actually as well.
Because they were saying like comments are better than likes or
yeah,
right.
comments are better than likes, and also if you're interacting with a post or a certain page more often than another one, you're going to see those posts more often than you would someone else.
Right.
So let's say if you just randomly, like if it's a friend's page or whatever, and you choose to like it, but you're not following it, they're not going to see your stuff.
Right.
Because they liked the page or they followed the page, but they're not necessarily interacting with every post or whatever. Like let's just say for example, our stuff.
Yeah.
So on we're a small page and podcast and everything, obviously, like we just recently started, but on Facebook, when it kind of breaks down like the analytics of each post that you do. So you make a post, either if it's like us telling people about an episode or us giving an update or this, that, and the other thing, it'll say there's like going to be a little bar that says how many people it has reached.
Right.
And that'll be only a fraction of the people that actually like the page. And then even fewer than that fraction are the people that actually interact with that post.
Right.
So they might see the post while they're scrolling, and that's counted while they're scrolling down. That's counted as like people have seen this post.
Right.
But then it goes even further into like people who have actually like interacted with that. And then you can go even further into the analytics and see like post interactions.
Right.
People have actually like gone to the page, people have actually gone to each post, people that have gone like that have liked or whatever or commented. That's even broken down even further. So when it comes to boosting a page or a post or whatever, they're going to make that they're going to make that visible to the people that, yes, the people that even if they do like or follow the page, it could be they're pushing it to the people that have not interacted with their posts for a while.
Right.
And also it might show up in a relevant search for someone else. So, like the suggested search, either on YouTube, on Facebook, or whatever, as an ad or something in the side, it'll show up in something like that.
Okay, so sorry. So that's a good point.
Yes.
And I get it. And I know there have been some arguments from some of our other small business owner friends like Mickey and Jeff who like were paying to boost posts, stuff like that, and didn't notice the difference.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, is it working? Is this just a scam? Like, I don't really know.
That's probably 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Because
Yeah.
like, it all depends on the people that are actually like following and liking or the page or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it could try to like go like, hey, I'm over here to the people that liked but don't interact.
Right.
To try to like push it more in their face.
Because I mean, I noticed like I occasionally assist with my mom's business. She owns her own barbershop, and she's even worse with social media than I am. So
it's like a blind leading the blind.
It is. But I'll help her like post stuff, edit stuff on her Facebook page, get it out there and stuff. And for that instance, I did notice a little bit more traffic and stuff like that on our page when we would boost something. But it still wasn't like we didn't feel like it was enough to continue to pay for content.
Yeah.
Or to have our content put out there.
Yeah. I mean, I think it all depends on how much content you have to share. Or if there's certain content that you want people to see more than others.
Right.
Like stuff that you think that's going to be more popular or that like that's going to be more eye-catching or whatever. I think that I think could play a part in it too. But like you said, is it worth it?
Right.
Like, is it worth the money that you're trying to take out of your own pocket to
So I had
push this?
So there's one post I wanted to read on a comedian that I follow that had a good example and post about this specific thing. And then also we had reached out to a friend of ours who owns Simply Lush Studios. She does boudoir photo shoots, and she has been fucking shadow banned, Facebook jailed, like everything.
Yeah.
So she actually responded
on
like instances and examples. She's a very busy lady. But I'll read some of her responses because for the most part, everything she does is extremely tasteful. She follows her guidelines.
Follows all the rules, yeah.
As far as like not posting nips, stuff like that. And yet it's just a constant struggle. And this is her business. Like, this is what she does full time.
Yeah, this is her livelihood, and this is, like I said, this is one of those instances where like you play by all the rules, doing all the things, and yet it's fighting an uphill battle
Right.
a lot of the times with these platforms that you've chosen to try to like get your work out there. And it's supposed to be making your job easier by getting all of your work out there to all these different people, but they're calling you out saying like, "Hey, you're in Facebook jail because of X, Y, and Z."
Right.
And you can't do that.
No, and it's, and unfortunately though too, especially for small business owners, is that, we are living in a world where social media is your marketing.
Yeah.
So if it's this constant uphill battle and you're constantly fighting with getting your content out there, that's affecting you as a business. Okay. So, Mr. Kean,
To me.
thank you. Back in the beginning of December, I posted a message to all my Facebook followers. I get hundreds of messages asking why I have stopped making videos. I have a video fucking every day. People are angry and disheartened to see that I have disappeared off the face of the earth. I often get asked in public why I stopped making videos. This is extremely frustrating and upsetting for me because I have never stopped making videos. I continue to post as much as I can, like any other creator or whatever you want to call it. Facebook reduced the reach of content a year or two ago between 1 to 5% of organic reach. This means that only 1 to 5% of the 5.4 million of you. Oh, shit. Will see a video of mine on your timeline organically. Organic essentially means without having to pay for it. Facebook are capping the reach of people who are trying to promote themselves businesses and are suggesting that if you pay them, you'll have a broader audience, which is what your argument was.
Yeah.
Whereas essentially you're just purchasing a bigger fraction of your audience you're already following you. It's very disappointing to see what Facebook has become because 5 years ago when I was making content, I was enjoying it and so were the viewers. But now it's full of stress to me because if I show my belly button or say the word shit, I lose all access to monetizing. Monetizing is what most creators initially rely on as making videos and is time consuming. So you either have a job and not make videos, or you make making videos your job. Limiting what a creator can do takes a toll, as a lot of people like me have to change and censor ourselves. Because if we don't, no one sees it because Facebook cap it because it won't make them any money. They take a percentage of my earnings. Instead, Facebook likes to promote videos of Jimmy Kimmel, Fallon, etc. because that's family friendly. Family friendly just means advertiser friendly. It is now a platform that is undesirable and has lost all of my flavors. What a shame. Anyway, if you want to see my videos, they're still there, always has been. There's more next week, and there's more again after that, and after that. Thank you for your continued support. So I think that just really gives like a good breakdown of the issue and what they're struggling with.
Well, that's like a YouTube person that I follow. Her name is her handle is Beauty Christie, and she explains it a couple times in different videos about like advertising on YouTube and what could get you demonetized and blah 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 blah. And she was the one that had explained that like she used to do a lot of Halloween looks around Halloween time, like, and that people would like love those videos. They were hugely popular, and she and a friend of hers would spend so much time and money, more time than anything. Like they would do these elaborate shoots, and they would take so much time to do the makeup themselves and like the costumes and everything, and they would go and do these shoots, and then they would edit the videos and blah 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 blah, and like the time it took to do all of that, and they would finally upload, and then to be demonetized because
it shows fake blood that you know is fake.
Yes. And so she's like, it got to a point where like it wasn't even worth it to put all of this time and effort and sometimes a lot of their own money, but mostly time, because I think people eventually get to the point where like time is more precious sometimes than money. Like I spent all of this time and effort and just slaving over this shit and just for nothing. Like no one's going like, because not only do they get demonetized, but they would also YouTube would essentially like not put it in a suggested videos search. So like you were saying earlier, where like based on their views or whatever, they would have suggested searches or suggested videos that they would watch, and their videos that they had spent so much time and effort in wouldn't be suggested because that was essentially YouTube's version of shadow banning.
Right.
And it's like,
what the fuck?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like they're taking that livelihood. So now they have to try and change the kind of content. Like it's these different platforms are like trying to shape the way these content creators are making their content and how they're presenting their content, which I think is kind of, it's scary.
It is, no, it is scary. It's scary, and again, like, that's okay, and they can edit that kind of stuff, but potentially harmful fake articles and information,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
obviously, again,
where's the line?
Yeah. And again, I mean, I know that they do some effort as far as like, not putting them on news feeds as much as demonetizing them, but it's still allowed to be created, and there's still ways around it.
Oh yeah.
But so Ashley's response is Facebook detects that before anyone ever gets the chance to report it. I've actually probably lost at least $20,000 in sales because Facebook wouldn't approve any of my images for my ads, and they were literally just headshots. I can go on about this, but she did not. Instagram says right in my profile, probably shadow banned. My reach is terrible in there since the sex industry banned. I've gone from 80,000 likes and engagement down to 40 likes and barely any engagement, which in turn affects business. All labeled as sexually explicit or suggestive or excess of skin. Then I see Victoria's Secret ads that show
skin. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep. Then I see Victoria's Secret ads that show a fuck ton more. Our entire industry are working endlessly to come up with a new platform, which would be fantastic. But I mean, that's actually something I didn't even think of, which is a perfect example right there. Is swimsuit like Sports Illustrated and fucking Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
You are half naked, and that's fine. And how many advertisements do you see in your fucking news feed?
Yeah.
For either, no, especially me, because when I was about to do my photo shoot, I was searching up some lingerie items.
Mm-hmm.
That's all my fucking news feed is now. Half naked women with titties. That's fine.
Yeah, like it's ridiculous. And a lot of the Sports Illustrated things, like it's these athletes doing implied they're nude, but it's like implied stuff is covered up, but they're still
nude.
They're still naked, and you can tell that they're naked. And it that's fine. It's printed on paper. It's sent out. And like you can see the articles online, and it's like, what?
Like, why? Yeah, and like I said, especially for to sit there and get banned before it's even posted for a fucking headshot. Are you serious?
Yeah, they're just probably like, nope, this is the problem.
She's posted stuff before that was
this is a
scandalous.
Trouble child. We know that literally they're just gonna flag everything as a nipple, even if it isn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I do remember a couple of her posts, having her put in Facebook jail words, due to supposed nip when it was very much blurred out. Like there was no nip. It was basically a Barbie boob.
Yeah. Or like she's like, I even turned up the brightness to make sure that you couldn't see anything before I posted the darker version, the way that it was intended to be shown. She's like, I turned up the brightness to make sure that like even with that you couldn't see anything, and then posted what how it was supposed to be with like more shadows and stuff, so that the shadows would definitely cover the nips. And then you're just like, I don't know. They're making it impossible for like
small business owners
to get anywhere. But how like you have to start somewhere.
Right.
What the fuck?
Right.
And it makes no sense. And I feel like a lot of these topics that we're talking about with social media, it's going to I guess we want it to like generate a discussion, and see if anyone can come up with any kind of solution, because for the most part it's like a no-win for all of us small plebes out there, and because we're not celebrities with millions of followers and millions of dollars in order to make our problems go away. We are small content creators. We are artists with visions and stuff like that we're fighting every step of the way to try to get content out there and try to interact with other people in this world that's making it harder and harder to connect with people. And it's like, it's disheartening a lot of the time.
It's disheartening, and I think you could probably go in the argument of just the class warfare of just it kind of further puts a wedge in that.
Oh yeah.
And continues to separate us farther and farther and farther from like the elites.
Yeah. We are not the 1%.
No.
And that's evident. We get it. I understand.
But it doesn't make our content and our businesses any less valid.
No.
Than Victoria's Secret models that are, again, completely fine to see walking down a runway in just as much clothing as some of the customers that Ashley posts on her business
Or the pole dancers.
or the pole dancers. It, I don't know, and I mean, I know you and I just on like our Facebook feed have gotten, from certain trolls and stuff that we've blocked or have gotten tired of fucking listening to, just the comments of like, why do you need to do that half naked? What's the point of that? Like, you're trying to be a stripper. I've heard even just from the few people at work that knew that I was pole dancing, it's just like, oh, well, if you ever get fired, like you have a backup job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, first off, the clothes are actually required because if I want to hang upside down,
Yeah.
I need skin contact or I'm a fall.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break my face.
Mm-hmm. Like we're not doing it scantily clad or in, petite clothing just for funsies. It's so that we can actually stick to the pole. And also, it's like you're comparing us to strippers like it's a bad thing. Like, why are you shitting on strippers? What, like, or sex workers? What are they doing that is so bad?
Yeah. And again, like, my argument as well is, whether anyone wants to believe it or not, or have the argument that pole dancing isn't a sport, fuck you, it is.
Try it. Okay. Yeah. Like, if you don't think that it's hard or if you don't think that it's a sport, just try one class. I dare you. I double, triple dog dare you.
It takes a lot of time and a lot of practice and a lot of skill set to be able to put together choreography and dance in addition to fucking hanging upside down sometimes with just literally one leg and nothing else holding you up there. Mm-hmm. And make it look fluid and flawless. And that is, again, I think because of what people think it represents is taboo. But then you have gymnasts that are showing just as much cheek, if not more. Mm-hmm. And that's fine.
Or swimmers.
Volleyball players.
See there, right there. I don't think beach volleyball as opposed to just regular volleyball, right, but still like beach volleyball. Are you gonna tell me that their little outfits are necessary for what they're doing? But
no, it's not. Not even a little bit.
No, it is not required. I understand gymnast outfit. I understand swimmer's outfit. Beach volleyball, I don't understand.
Nope.
I don't have an issue with it. I'm fine with them showing like the cheek and everything. I don't care. But if you're going to say that that's okay and what a pole dancer has to wear is not, it's the same fucking thing. And there are pole dancers that wear more.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And again, though, I think the argument is what people perceive pole dancing and just that idea of, well, it's sex.
It's the stigma that it has to do with stripping. And there's like
sex trade.
We had talked about before. It's just like in America, there's the stigma that sex is bad. Anything to do with sex is bad. Sex work is bad. Stripping is bad. Like, if you like sex, you're bad. Like, it's all, there's just a negative connotation and a negative association with sex in this country. Right. That is devalued, whereas other stuff is accepted more. Yeah. Like, it's ridiculous, and I don't understand it, but we're going to try to wrap it up because I think we're just going to get more and more frustrated as we go on. But I think the point that we're trying to do with all these, the social media topics that we're going to be coming out with in the next couple weeks is that we want to generate a discussion about these different aspects of social media, because just about everyone is on social media in some way, or they have to interact with social media in some way, because they're like, that's how people get anything out there. That's how people connect anymore.
And, I mean, I think it's obviously there are some benefits to social media, and I'm sure we'll touch on that eventually at some point. However, I think because we are on social media so much and because that is so prevalent in our society today, I think it's an open discussion to look at the double standards, look at the biases, and make sure that you are self-aware and being mindful of those things before you either post content or you engage in certain pages and things of that nature.
Yeah. I think just knowing that when you go on social media with the purpose of creating content, that it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. Sometimes it might not seem worth it, but hopefully eventually it will be.
Right. Because you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, because
You want your shit out there. Sorry.
what else are you gonna do? You would literally need millions of dollars in order to get it out there without social media.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyway, we'll close out this segment. We'll be talking more in the future, obviously, about social media shit. And until next time, we'll see ya. Okay?
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.